What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Hustlers Kung Fu Live. Today we're going to talk about how unemployment is competing with jobs. And we're going to talk about the real workforce participation numbers and how UBI will kill the American economy. We'll take it out. We'll just take it out. We'll just go ahead and get rid of it. I'm talking about crazy, crazy stuff that will be happening with this whole new thing. This live stream was brought to you by Hustlers Kung Fu University at hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. Go ahead and grab 30 days to 2,500, the original course. It is yours free. And just don't get the course because it's free. Get the course and actually do the work so you can make some money, man. This is to get you your foundational business education. My gift to you during these tough, crazy, hard times. So let's get into this wonderful bean footage. I mean, I got some stuff to get off my chest this morning, and it's a little crazy. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and get this percolated into. We got that sent off. So this is one of the craziest things that is happening right now with these workplace participation numbers and the employment. Like, hold on a second. Let me roll off into this. And this is the craziest thing. Small businesses struggle to hire their workers back. Congress is looking for ways to adjust the federal loan program, which makes it hard for business to compete with current unemployment benefits. People lost their jobs waiting in line for unemployment benefits at an Arkansas workforce center in Fort Smith. The owners of the Crown Shop, a card and gift retail shop in Little Rock, Arkansas, are planning scale back reopening for Monday, but they're struggling with asking their employees to come back to work for less money than they're receiving in unemployment insurance. Complicating matters is that the owners got a small business loan through the Payroll Protection Program, or PPP, and to meet the requirements of the loan, they must show they rehired their furloughed workers. I'll tell you in a minute why I'm chuckling. We're in between a rock and a hard place, said Wendy Ramsey, who's the business partner and daughter-in-law of the owners of the family store. All right. We've had this conversation before here at Hustlers Kung Fu. Did I not tell you weeks ago that when people were able to get unemployment that was more money than the money they were making, that they were not going back to work? And this is becoming a very prickly problem. This is becoming a problem because, I mean, there's articles all over the place. Some business owners compete with unemployment to retain staffing. Some business owners, bitter taste for coffee shop owner as new 600 jobless benefit drove her to close. That's what the federal government is now offering people who've lost their jobs because of the coronavirus. For many workers and employers, the money is a godsend, way to keep food on the table while also cutting payroll costs. but the extra money can create some awkward situations. Some businesses that want to keep their doors open say it's hard to do so when employees can make more money staying at home. We basically have a situation where it'd be a logical choice for a lot of people to be unemployed, says Sky Marietta, who opened her coffee shop with her husband, Gurf, last year in Harlan, Kentucky. All right now, humans. And when they did the stimulus package and added this extra $600 on top of your state benefits, I was just like, these people are going to clown. They're going to put on the nose. They're going to put on the hair. They're going to have the shoes on. They're going to have the whole clown outfit, because here at Hustlers Kung Fu, we've been telling you what people make. And let's go here. $30,000 a year was more than 53% of Americans who earn money. So you go ahead and do the math on this. And like if you're in Seattle, you're getting like $1,200 per week, which is 5 G's a month, which is $60,000 a year. It's going to be hard to get these folks to go back to their job. It's going to be hard. They're not going to go back because like Clearview Tayu, the Asian dude who was doing the stimulus videos, was just saying, I'm not telling you not to go back to your job. I'm just saying make yourself inaccessible. Inaccessible. I'm just sitting there like, man, these folks are not going back to work. They're not going to do what they need to do. They're not going back to work. They're going to consistently and continue to be on this path. They're going to keep playing the system. And right now, there's these stimulus videos, and they're talking about this $2,000 and, the American Money for the American People Act, whatever it's called. And this is what folks are doing now with an additional $600, an additional $2,400 per month. This is what they're doing now. Imagine you getting $2,000. Your wife's getting $2,000. Each child is getting $2,000. So you have a wife and 2 children. So you're getting $8,000 a month. You know what $8,000 a month is? That's $96,000 a year. Most of America don't make $96,000 a year, man. They don't make that kind of money. And this is why Trump and the GOP are like, no. But right now we have a situation where people have more benefits staying at home, being unemployed, and it's not going to get any better. Let me go ahead and give you the tea leaves. All right. This is what's going to happen. There are many small business owners who got these loans. And for these loans to be forgiven, they got to spend the money on payroll. But the employees ain't coming back. So these loans that were supposed to be forgiven are not going to be forgivable. So now they're going to have to pay this money back. Did I not tell you? Don't go for it. Don't do it. And there are many business owners who, with good intentions, they were trying to get some PPP money. They were trying to get some stimulus money, and they thought it would be forgiven. And they didn't expect the folks to put the nose on, put the hair on, put the suit on, put put the clown shoes on. These folks ain't going back to work. They're going to, now some of the people are getting in trouble because once the unemployment office contacts the business and the business says they could have came back to work, but they chose not to, that's going to get pretty interesting. That's going to get a little crazy. That's going to get insane. But right now, this is what we have going on in these United States of America. And it's just a little taste. It's just a little taste. Just a little taste of money. Ain't even really no big money. It's just a little taste. Just a little taste. And these folks, they ain't going back to work. So imagine if you had a business and you were giving people jobs and you was like, hey, Roy, guess what? We got the PPP loan. You could come back to work, man. Roy like, I speak no English. Click. Roy ain't trying to go back to work because they're making more money. And this is a preview of what would happen if we had universal basic income. This is just a mere preview. Just a little preview of what would happen if we had. And also, I want to show y'all something else. Because this is really, really crazy. Now, remember, there are many people who've been telling you that we had this great economy. Let me show you something. This is the labor force projections. All right. Let me show you a little charty chart. Let me go ahead and make this bigger. All right. So we got this chart here. Now, this is when we had the greatest economy here. This is where we are right now. And this was before the pandemic. This is back when I had a job. Jobs were easy to find. You quit a job, you find another job. It's very interesting. I think these were the Clinton years. This is why people were not mad that Bill was getting a little action in the Oval Office, because people were able to get a job whenever they wanted one. All right. Here we go. Let me go ahead and blow this up for you. All right. As you can see, this was before the Great Recession, right here. And boom. This is what's happened since the Great Recession. Downward, 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 downward. And here, wait a minute. Looking at this chart, this doesn't look like this was that so-called great economy, because we're back right now where we were in the 70s. No, actually, the 70s is higher. We would have to go to 1978. No, 77. But this is where we are right here. So this myth, this optical illusion of this so-called great economy is one of the reasons that literally that people were out of work just for a few weeks and you saw economic collapse. This is what I've been talking about the fake ass American economy. Here it is in real numbers. And this is so-called job boom. This is the labor force participation rate. It's down. It is still down from 2000. It's not as good as it was from 2004 to 2008. And I'm going to tell you why this isn't working and why people are having problems. Let's talk about the gig economy. Uber drivers, Instacart drivers, the sharing economy. These people have hustles. They don't have real jobs. Because if you don't work these hustles correctly, you don't make any money. You make absolutely no money. No money whatsoever. Because they're hustles. And I want you to understand how America used to be. I think I was about 14 years old. And I got it in my head, yo, G, you need to get a job. So I went around and I walked up to the grocery store, filled out an application, and then I just found this other place called Sign Builders, and I went in and walked up there, and the lady said, no, we don't have no jobs. And the owner of the company was driving by and he saw me walking and he figured out that I came from his company. And he said, what was up with that kid? He's like, oh, he's looking for a job. Dude came back, picked me up in his Corvette and said, we're going to make a job for you. And I started working there. I was making $6.50 an hour in the 80s. I was making more money than my mother. That's when the American economy was great. That I could just cold call. I was cold calling. I didn't even know what it was called. I cold called for a job and got it. Because I just showed up. When I was a kid, there were so many ways to make money. You could collect Coke bottles. You could do recycle. There were so many ways to make money. So what has happened is in the 70s, when we outsourced our manufacturing to China, well, first we outsourced it to Japan, and then we went to China. We eradicated the middle class. And many of the folks who are right now sitting home on unemployment, or they never were in the middle class. They were never in the middle class. Because I want you to think that, because like if you're in Washington, you're getting $1,200 a week with the additional $600 because Washington pays like $650, $670 a week. And $1,200, that's $4,800 a month in Washington, in the state of Washington. And it's different all across the United States. But that tells me that when you would rather stay at home and collect unemployment, you weren't making no money to begin with. You weren't making no money. You were out here because here, who knows what's the difference between a career and a job? If you're a career, there's upward mobility in a career. Being a doctor's a career, being an attorney's a career, actually, you could become a police officer and have a career because there's upward mobility. There's things like you can be the cop on the beat, then you can become the sergeant, the desk sergeant, you can become a lieutenant, you become a detective, you can become, there's levels. With jobs, there are no levels. You could start at $8-10 an hour, and 10-15 years later be making 11-12 bucks an hour with a job. There's no upward mobility. There's none. And most of America has a job. And this is why, you got people out here who are struggling. And I'm just, I'm here to show you because, let's go back to the chart. Let me go back to the chart and show you in black and white. This is the so-called good economy right here. These are the Trump years, the Obama years. And we went down and down and down under Obama. We had more people employed from 1990 to 2008. So when you start to dive into the numbers and when you start to look at stuff, it makes you question, here on YouTube, there are many YouTube channels pushing stocks. And essentially, let me show you what is happening. This is why the stock market is good. How the Fed's bond buying could be driving the stock market rally. There ain't no could be. It is. And also, the Fed is getting ready to start buying municipal bonds, but under the 1913 Federal Reserve Act, they ain't supposed to be buying state municipal bonds. They ain't supposed to be doing it. But they gonna do it. They're like, you ain't my daddy. I'm gonna buy these bonds. I'm gonna do all this other stuff. I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Damn the law. And you're gonna see a lot of crazy stuff with this going on. Because the 1930 Federal Reserve Act, they're not supposed to be doing a lot of the stuff they're doing. They're propping up the stock market. They're going to prop up these states. And it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting when the chickens come home to roost. But I'm here to tell you guys that this is a preview of any enactment of any universal basic income. This is the behavior that you're seeing on unemployment. If you were to say, hey, America, this is what we're going to do for you. We're going to send you $2,000 a month. And if you lost your job, you can keep your unemployment benefits. And if you have children, we're going to send you $2,000 for each kid. A lot of people would stop working. I'm just here to tell you, I know human nature. A lot of people are like, I ain't going to work. A single mother with 3 kids, she going to be getting $8,000 a month. $8,000 a month. It's $96,000 a year. There ain't no way she's going back to work. And I'm also going to show you another example of this. The mothers of these NFL players, babies, and NBA players, they stop working. They live on that child support. You can see that's a small, very small segment, because most women are not getting that kind of money. Let's just keep it a buck. But they don't work. They sit back and thank you, baby daddy. Thank you, baby daddy, for this check. It don't work. And universal basic income would literally destroy this country. I mean, right now, these business owners are having a hard time trying to get people to come back to work, earn their keep, because because daddy government's like, here's a check for you, man. Here's a little check. We're going to give you a little check. You go sit at home. You're going to be giving big booty Betty the D 3 to 4 times a day because you've never had this much time and had income coming in. I understand. When I wrote my book in that 3rd year, when all that money was coming in, I felt like I was retired. I would wake up. I was still way more productive than these people, because I would still at least do 1 or 2 YouTube videos a day, a week. I would wake up and I would do certain things. But I'm here to tell you, you give people money for doing absolutely nothing, that's what they're going to continue to do. And I think universal basic income is a bad ideal. There should be some requirements for you to get this money. You should have to enroll in some type of work study program. You have to, and it would be like, okay, if you don't show up, you don't get your check. And if you don't graduate, you don't get your check. There should be some kind of requirement, because what would happen is, if we had a large segment of society that don't make a lot of money, that was getting that kind of money, it would literally kill the American economy. You couldn't find anyone to clean hotels. You couldn't find anyone to work these low wage chicken processing plant. Out of business. They'd be out of business. There ain't no way that you're going to get these people to do. It is, it's a sad state of affairs. But I just wanted to bring to you and show you about the fake American economy. And I want to examine, why has it got so bad so quick? Because people don't make any money. People are not making money, man. And this is why these folks are chilling on unemployment, because they living their best life on unemployment. They're living their best life. They are doing what they want to do. All right. So I want you guys to check out Savage Finance. Let's talk about this video. Now, the way that I'm building Savage Finance is to give you your financial education. And this is a very important video, and I'm going to push it, because how to budget your money on the supreme level. And I know these topics are not sexy, they're not saucy, and people, it's not a Bitcoin video, it's not a stimulus check video, but this is a very, very important video, and I need you guys to watch it so you can change your financial blueprints. So I want everyone to go ahead and watch this video. I'm giving you the financial game. I'm giving you the money game. I want you to watch this video, because a lot of people, unless it's something like credit cards, they're complete channels built upon credit cards. Talking about credit cards, because America is drunk on credit. And we got to stop it, because right now there are many good people who are unfortunately impacted because they were addicted to credit. They had no money. They had no cash. They had no reserves. And now they're in a bad, bad situation. So I'm going to drop this link, and I want you guys to watch this video. It is very important because I'm going to teach you guys how to get wealthy. Let's go ahead and put this in there. Be sure to watch this. I want you guys to watch this video today because I'm going to teach you how to get wealthy. And you're not going to get wealthy with Bitcoin. You're not going to get wealthy with all of these hacks unless you're really good at Forex or you're really good with day trading. You're not going to get wealthy with that. I mean, there are day traders who make a lot of money, but these are exceptions. They're not the norm. The normal person who day trades loses money. The normal person who does Forex loses money. That's just facts. It's just how it is. And I want you guys to win. And you're not going to win if I were to lie to you and just gas you up like all these folks are doing with these stimulus videos. They're like, and Congress and the Senate, and they have this proposal, and it ain't going to happen. You ain't getting $2,000 a month. You know how much that would cost? We would become like Japan because our national deficit would be higher than our GDP. That's what's killing Japan. Their GDP is 4.9 trillion a year, third largest GDP in the world after China and the United States. And if we get ourselves in that situation, what happened in Japan is what will happen here. The lost decade of no upper economic growth. I mean, people, we got to do what we need to do, but I want you guys to understand the reality of the situation. Right now, we have unemployment is duking it out with jobs. The America that I grew up in, people were proud to work. They were proud to get a job. They were proud to do what they needed to do to support their families. It was a badge of honor. I get up, I'm a hardworking man, work boots, lunch pail. That was a badge of honor. Now we have people who are just trying to get over. And, you know, it's a morality and ethics thing. Like, you know, I'm not like Clearview. Like, I'm not going to tell you to become inaccessible to get this free government money. Because at some point, someone's got to pay that bill. And at some point, it's going to have an economic impact on our overall economy. You know, I believe this bug thing is real. And I think it's dangerous. But when you look at the cataclysmic effect it's had on our economy, as reluctant as I am to say this, we're going to have to open up the states. Because, I mean, yes, the infection rates are going to spike. I had a video talking about how stupid people were. It was extremely offensive. I debate on should I release that because it's done. But right now, we're at a crossroads. We're at a critical juncture where unemployment is beating jobs in the head. It's kicking jobs. It's like unemployment has jobs on the floor and it's boot kicking jobs. We're hustling backwards as a country. I could have seen an additional $300, but that $600, I was just like, man, that's just too much. It's too much. These folks gonna put on the nose. They gonna put the hair on. They gonna put the hat on. They gonna put the suit on. They got the clown shoes on. I mean, human nature, man. Human nature. They gonna do what humans do. So we got a situation here. But I just showed you proof that this so-called good Trump economy was a mirage. You saw the numbers. We had higher during the Clinton years. The Clinton years was the highest workplace participation that we've had. The Clinton years. And some of the Bush years. Bush 2. Not so under Trump. If you dive into the numbers, you look at it, it just ain't what people been telling you. And this is why, I do what I do. All right, what's up, people? What's up, Sean? Life for Business. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Glendon, please do a video on why the government cannot just keep printing money. People are idiots. They don't understand the implications of doing that. Hey, at some point, you will diminish your currency. You keep printing money. Engineered appliance repair, pretty much. Benny, shit, folks getting G a week ain't going back for 600. What's up? Paul Brown, thank you for the $5 super chat. Glendon, good morning. You keep hitting the nail on the head, man. Silverblade, they're going to put on the bunny slippers on and binge on Facebook, drama, and Netflix. Pretty much. T-Fighter, Mary, my understanding is that they aren't printing money. They're borrowing money, which is a different implication. Doesn't lead to hyperinflation, but our debt owed is skyrocketing. Mark my words, we're going to have some more quantitative easing. It's coming. Because if you look, interest rates are zero. They've borrowed this money. They don't have too many tools left in the toolbox. If this thing keeps going on, which it looks like it will, expect to see some quantitative easing. Alexander, wages have remained stagnant for decades. This is true. Wages just literally the last 4 years started to go up. But you've been behind, because I did a video like why you're $10 behind many years ago. And even though wages started to go up, you still are not making up 4 decades of lost income. You're still behind. This is why you need to go to Savage Finance and watch my video talking about accelerated income. These are the times that you need to do that. Silverblade, meat's getting expensive because many of these meat processing plant, the employees are like making more money on unemployment. They ain't going back to work. Thomas Dixon, man, workers sit at home in the enterprise and take courses for a year and come up a year or two later. Thomas Dickerson, that would be good if they were doing that. But I'm telling you, most folks are not doing that. They're sitting at home chilling. They're watching soap operas. They're watching the talk shows. They're on Facebook. They're not being productive. I guarantee you. Tessa, I wouldn't go back either. Alexander, this is my damn channel. I talk about what I want to talk about. If you're too damn stupid to understand the future implications of adding all this debt, then you're just a dumbass. Don't come on this channel telling me what to talk about, fool. The Genesis Project, at some point, the money will be cut. Engineer appliance repair wages remain stagnant or an individual's problem, not that of society. T5 to Mary, Trump administration doesn't care about our debt, even though Republicans are always crying about spending. They're going to go crazy over the debt was only a problem when Obama was president. You're right. Paul Brown, money changes everything. Very true. Mr. G, leveraging unemployment benefits could be a good strategy. The issue is that most think a long-term strategy, and that's a problem. I'm here to tell you that the average person who's on unemployment is not online, not looking to start a side hustle, not looking to start the books off the business and keep I'm telling you, these folks are sitting at home and imagine, what is it now? It's May. Look for A record number of babies to be born March 2021. They're at home having sex. I've been reading these posts. It's like, yeah, man, me and the wife, we're getting it in 3-4 times a day. They're not being productive. They're enjoying this pandemic. Life for business, true. The name is, I will say that this was a rush plan and there are many, many bad unintended consequences. Really got beat. So I saw a segment on CNN last week where the guy who owns restaurants can't rehire his employees because they're getting more money from sitting at home. He was in tears. Luxuries once tasted become necessities. Like I said, I predicted this before it happened because I know I've been a business owner. I've employed people. I know how employees think, and most of them it's a very antagonistic relationship because you as the employer are trying to pay them the least amount of money to do what they do. They as an employee are trying to get as much money out of you. It's the craziest thing. Cullen shot. There are several people I talked to making more money on unemployment than actually working, and they don't want to return to work. Valerie B, I think that's a lot of that's going to be happening because these employers are mad. Thank you, Curiously Frankly. States are changing laws to cut off employment if you turn down your job. I think that's already on the books. Grind hard. I didn't know that because I really don't know a lot about the unemployment laws. Charles F. Finney, this is what I've been saying for the last 3 years. The name is, it was the fake American economy. I've been talking about this for years. Tessa, Glendon, does the chart account for baby boomers retiring and aging out? Tessa, actually, no, because here's the thing. We actually have more people now than we did during the Clinton and Bush years. So we have a larger population. So we have more people and we have less people working. More people and less people working. Because, someone was like, well, these people are retiring, they're out of the market. There's a lot of people who just simply stopped looking for jobs. There are many people who were in economically fragile before this thing began, and they just weren't working. Wow, DoorDash, a lot of people not making that money. Regis, if people were allowed to collect benefits and work, I think more people will be inclined to work. If you incentivize people not to work, it's only logical at that point. Regis, I'm going to vigorously disagree with you. Look at what happened. These people have the option to work, and they're getting a benefit that's greater than what they're going. They're like, I ain't going back to work. There is a certain social economic class that I knew was going to clown. I knew was going to clown. And this is just a preview. If we were to have universal basic income, these people would have the option to work because they get money for doing nothing. They would not work. They just wouldn't. Thomas Dickens, I was a child in the 80s. I still remember multiple plant warehouse jobs a man with only his diploma could choose from. I'm telling you, when I was a kid, it was so easy to get a job. If just you just had to like, hey, I'm looking for a job. Okay, like I'm telling you, this dude made a job for me because I was looking for one. That's when the economy was good. When you can literally find a job whenever you wanted one. Only people were working that weren't working when I was a kid were the people who didn't want to work. Pretty much. So you said they know going back to the same jobs will not improve their situation, paycheck to paycheck. Let's talk about that. If you know you have an income problem, why aren't you working on solving your income problem? The onus is upon the individual to look out for self. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's the deal. That's where people should be doing. Paul Brown, I remember as a kid, family that worked at Levi's factory in Sun for Ford before they moved overseas. Glendon was crazy. There was a time when jobs could have become a career. All this was before they moved manufacturing overseas. You're exactly right. A dude could not graduate high school and go work at the plant, stay at the plant, work his way up and become a VP at the plant with no college degree, without a high school diploma. But once they took manufacturing out of America and moved it to Japan first, then they moved it to China, they eradicated all of this upward mobility. It's just disappeared. David Geffen, I think he started working in the mailroom and he became a billionaire. That's just gone. Pretty much, Rod, for real estate, the market's being manipulated like a mofo. Seeing leadership knows most Americans don't read. Most people were in financial straits before this. I got out the stock market 2 years ago. It's so fake. The stock market isn't fake. The stock market is heavily manipulated. Let's be 100% on that. It's heavily manipulated. Tesla, the Feds is pulling out all the stops, but there's a certain point they're going to run into some roadblocks. Stephen Jameson called the Fed Bernie Madoff because it's nothing but a Ponzi scheme. Teresa Diamond, kids are out of school. How can we go back to work? You know, I actually was thinking about that. What the mother should do is get together and find Big Mama, Aunt Jean, or whatever to watch your kids. I mean, back when I was growing up, women didn't have women didn't have daycare problems. I'm gonna tell you why. There was a grandmother, there was an aunt, there was always someone around to help them out with their kids. When I was growing up, I don't remember anyone ever having daycare problems. Well, I think this whole thing is going to bring some manufacturing back to America. Teresa Diamond, you got to, my story. I was in dire straits in 1997. And why was I in dire straits? Because I didn't have viable economic skills. And if you're working for pennies for the dollar, you don't have viable economic skills and you need to level up. Amar Foster, right now we got people who have the option to go to work and they choose to sit at home and collect a check. I vigorously disagree with you. And I'm going to tell you, how many businesses have you owned and how many employees have you ever hired? Because when you become a business owner, you see the worst in humanity. You see some petty junk. So I would put my experience against your assumptions because you're just assuming right now. And also, I don't know why people want to dicker with me when I predicted this was going to happen before it happened. I was like, when they start paying more people for not work, they ain't going to go back to work. I predicted this before it happened. I predicted this stock market crash. I predicted Bitcoin was going to crash. I predicted the economy was jacked up. Stop assuming and being up in your feelings, and listen to me. People who listen to me make money. Folks who think they're just as smart as I am without no damn results, they continue to languish. Seeing, the stimulus videos are starting to lose a little steam, just a little bit. UBI, it's just going to be a bad deal. What we need to do is start vocational training. We need to get, because see, the thing is, people who get money, like look at strippers. Has anyone here ever dated a stripper? They have this weird warped relationship of men and money. Because what they do, they're not really doing anything complicated to get money, and they make a lot of money. It's just weird. Tank Johnson, 2K kids is, these are the proposals that are going out. Patrick, yes, we will. Engineer appliance repairs. Some Americans want to be skilled. Some Americans want to do some stuff. Teresa Diamond, whose fault is that a lot of people won't educate him or himself? Pretty much. I am telling you, check your Facebook feeds. A lot of people are enjoying the quarantine. Enjoying the quarantine. The folks who like these couples, like there's a married couple, they both laid off and they're getting 2 G's a week. They're getting $8,000 a month unemployment. You think they're looking for a job? This is more money than they were making when they were working. They have been disincentivized to be productive. Here's some money. And we have a prime example of that happening. All right, I'm about to go way back. What happened to the black community in big cities when they started to give these young black women a check and an apartment and food stamps? We created a permanent underclass. This is what happens when you give people money for doing absolutely nothing. Go back to the 60s. This whole business of giving women money, a check, food stamp, and medical care. And we're not talking about they were getting Cadillac service. They were getting basic government needs. And this literally eradicated the marriage and broke down the black community. Go ahead and look at what happened to the black community with a form of UBI. These women don't want to work. They stay at home, watch soap operas, form these chicken head gaggle conversations with their friends. They ain't trying to work. So look at what happened with that, and then compare this to giving a whole bunch of new people money for staying at home doing nothing. Charles Finney, I work at the chicken processing plant. We work 6 days a week. Hey, get it. Classic hip hop storage box with Sister Crystal. What a name you have there. That's why we need to pay people a living wage for cleaning hotel rooms and other labor type jobs. Let me go ahead and reflect back on my childhood. You know who used to work in fast food joints? Teenagers. They were transitional jobs. You know who used to clean up hotels? Immigrants and also younger people, because they were transitional jobs. Because people have not leveled up their skills, these transitional jobs have become permanent jobs. It's the onus is on the individual. I disagree with, that's why we need anybody working 40 hours a week needs to get paid a livable wage. That is someone who's never owned a business. All businesses don't create enough money to pay people like tech companies. Because this is where, people are like, well, when I had an employee, she was like, I used to work for this tech company and we had a fuse ball and we had all this other stuff. I'm like, we don't get down like that here. We don't operate like that here. Oh, luxuries once tasted become necessities. People forget that you have to produce stuff for consumption of stuff, pretty much. Ronnie Ron, famous quote from Malcolm X: "We've been a beggar in the United States." Wow, I never heard that. That's a good one. Teresa Diamond, I'm not working. However, I teach my child her schoolwork, cook, clean, exercise, and work on my business. Not worried about sex. Want to be a better person. A lot of people are not looking for sex. There's a lot of people who are struggling. It's kind of hard to get your sex drive up when you're struggling, when you have no money in the bank, you have no food in the refrigerator, you have no gas in your car. Your sex drive goes to nothing. It's just like, it disappears. But once again, these folks who are getting in excess, because I have a Facebook friend, and he and his wife, he was just like, we getting it in, we getting it in. Because they both unemployed, and they both getting unemployment. They're making more money off unemployment than they were when they were working. Teresa, the little people are rising up pretty much. Chris F, pretty much. You got to look at the economics. Klein in. My parents came to Canada from Africa. My dad had to redo his PhD. My mom had to work after giving birth to me. Her first job in 1999, she was getting $12 an hour. What was the minimum wage in 2017? You know what? Let's look that up. That's a good question. Because I was making $6.50 an hour in 1982. The minimum wage in 2017 in the state of Georgia was 7.28. Hawaii was 9.25. In Florida, it was $8 in 2017. I want you to believe I was making $6.50 as a child working in a manufacturing plant. That's crazy. The Genesis Project, I'm telling you, these folks are not educating themselves. They're just not doing it. Thank you, The Art of Becoming More. Chris Monroe, Rona exposed the whole damn country. Chris Monroe, that's crazy. Even with inflation, there were people I work with in their 40s and 50s that never made $20 an hour. That's sad. That's sad. Eric Williams had 4 million people try to tell me they would turn down 100K for a 750 credit score. I'm telling you, the American credit and indoctrination system is deep. It's deep. People don't know how to function. This is why I'm trying to deliver people to the promised land of cash. I've seen that meme so many times. Would you rather have an 800 credit score or $100,000 cash? And then people are like, oh, I want the credit score. Because people are addicted to credit. It is this heady thing that someone's like, here's a piece of plastic with $25,000 limit. And they're like, woo! But they don't know way to pay it back if they used it all up. All right, Ron, appreciate you. Tim A, awesome. Meth Fox, you know, I have a disconnect from someone working a low wage job. I have not worked a low wage job since I was in that boarding house. So I don't know what the average person is going through in these. I can remember like one of the jobs I went on the labor pool. We were pouring hot tar on a rooftop in the middle of the summer. It was hot. I mean, we had to climb up this rickety ladder and have this wheelbarrow. It was hot. It was miserable, but I made $38 for that day of work. 38 funky dollars. And once I got out of that stuff, I don't really like to think about it because it was horrible. It was horrible not having any money, not knowing anyone with any money. It was just horrible. All right, Tim A. Engineer appliances, pretty much. Fed porn. I think because these stimulus videos are still getting good traction, but they're starting to tamp down a little bit because how many times can you talk about? Well, guys, today we're going to talk about this government proposal. It's not a law yet. It ain't a bill yet. Well, today they finally turned it into a bill. Senator Kamala Harris is working on it. Bernie Sanders have signed on it. We're starting to get some traction, but these folks don't know how government works. All housing, all money proposals come from the House. So what if the Senate's doing it? They still have to take it to the House. Take it to the House. This is where all of the economic stimulus proposals stem from. It must be approved in the House first. That's where it has to come from. And all of this stuff is just keep hope alive, keep hope alive, keep hope alive. They're just toying with people's emotions. I know it's been out of hand. Let's see. All right. Good Lord, it jumped. Good Lord, that was like a big jump. Teresa Diamond, a lot of people are having this sex. They've been cutting people off for Section 8. David Nino, that's funny. Classic hip hop storage box with Sister Crystal. Right now, we're in the middle of a pandemic and people are dying. Health is more important than running back to a low wage job. I just don't see this UBI stuff. Tammy Jackson, some workers are not even getting essential pay at work every day. Amir Foster, once again, I'm not on board with the UBI talk because I understand humans. And here's the thing. If you give people money for doing nothing at all, you take away their will to work. You take away their will to thrive. You take away their. Look at what happened to single black mothers in the 60s. They gave them a check. They gave them Medicare. They gave them food stamps. In some cases, they gave them a place to live. And this collapsed the black community. Do you know there were more white people on welfare before they started doing this? Look at that history. David, that's funny. Trav, yes, there are some jobs out there. Mohammed, I've been talking about that for 3 years. Well, Teresa, families used to live close together, and that's something that's changed. The art of becoming more, taking courses, working on products from a business, and sitting around is shocking me. A lot of people are sitting around. Teresa, that's not true. There are still some extended families. It's just not as many because literally everyone I grew up with had a grandmother or an auntie or someone living with them. That's just gone away. Lee G, my son never went to daycare. I didn't go to daycare either. Pretty much, Regis. Good Lord, Bebe's kids. Teresa Diamond, you can give me pushback all you want to. Until you become an employer and start hiring people, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going to tell you that from experience. Until you become an employer and you have 15, 20 people that you're responsible for paying, talk to me then. Because I'm telling you, I'm not telling you this because this is what I feel. I'm telling you this from experience. I predicted what was going to happen when these people started getting more money for unemployment before it happened. Why? Because I know how humans are. Stupid human tricks. You can give me all the pushback for, quote, the real people. One of the reasons that the real people are in their position is because they keep it too damn real. Chris Rock skit, when creeping it real goes wrong. They keep it too damn real. I'm just saying, a lot of these people are lazy. Right now, everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has the opportunity to take an online course and level up. Most folks are not going to do it. Right now, I'm giving a free course away that will make you money if you apply it. And a lot of folks are not going to do it. They're just not going to do it. Because, I got to apply effort. I got to show up. I got to be dedicated. I'm telling you. I'm telling you from experience. You know, with the real people, there's a reason the real people in the situation they in. Chris Moreau, results speak for themselves. David, a lot of people are out of work, man. A lot of people. Chris Moreau, this would be true. Employers are holding the company prizes instead of profit sharing, pretty much. Chris Moreau back then, they removed the male figure from the family. The carnage, 2K a month without withholding sounds a lot better than 15 hours of the job. Chris Hill, a lot of chicks are making. There's a lot of thirsty dudes out there for that virtual booty. Virtual booty. You can look at it on your screen. You can, oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. and you never get to really touch it. It's crazy. Classic hip hop, you're paid on how easy it is to replace you. It's not the job's job to give you, okay, well, we're going to give you $75,000 a year just for showing up because we like you. That ain't going to happen. All industries can't do that. The dude who in Seattle who gave everyone the $75,000 a year, he went into financial troubles because he made that move, and it took him like 2 years to get out of it. I know that many people feel that I work 40 hours, I should make a living wage. I disagree. It depends upon what you bring to the economy. It depends on what you bring to the employer. The harder you are to replace, the more money you will make. So instead of like the employer should come down there to where you are, you should raise your skills up. Because I'm going to tell you, the game has been like this for centuries. You think the game that's been like this for centuries is going to change just because people want it to change? I want more money, man. I need a livable wage, man. You think that's going to happen? It ain't going to happen. Thank you, Kimberly Williams. Isaac, okay. Elon Musk is just talking junk because it would cost him $4 or $5 billion to build a new plant. They built a plant in China, and they're scheduling to build a plant in Germany. So if and he was foolish enough to start Tesla and SpaceX in California because he was like, I never would have started those businesses there to begin with. Just me. Thrill Alley, drugs destroyed the black communities. I'm going to disagree with you. I was on that tail end of the black community that had pride, ambition, and being a single mother wasn't cool. It was single mothers and the removal of the black male authority figure that allowed all of this stuff to happen. It wasn't just drugs. It was a process. Go ahead, check the history, do your research. Oh, this is happening in the Rust Belt in several books called The End of White America, Angry White Men, and other books. What happened to the black community is now happening to the white community. Let me show you a stat. An analysis of out of wedlock births in the United States. Now, what do we see on this website? We see a white woman with a white baby. If you've noticed, all of this single black mother welfare queen talk has stopped. Since 1970, out of wedlock rates have soared. In 1965, 24% of black infants and 3.1% of white infants were born to single mothers. By the 1990s, the rates had risen to 64% for black infants, 18% for whites. Every year, 1 more million children are born into fatherless homes. If you learn any lesson, lesson over the past 25 years, as children living in the single-parent homes, the odds of living in poverty are great. The policy implications increase out of wedlock births are staggering. Now, the last time I checked the census, 42% of all births in the United States were out of wedlock births. And it may be close to half. Black women are not having all these kids by their damn selves. White women are the single largest demographic in America. And there are many white women who are single mothers. And what happened in the black community in the 60s and the 70s is starting to happen to the white community now. It's going down. Jesse Hims, the senator from North Carolina, talked about this, and talked about this many, many years ago. Truth rationale. I'm working my butt off. I'm not a college student. The feds are going around employers straight to the citizens to move the economy. I believe it would change the employer's mindset. Hey, the family system was torn apart. No need for father in the home anymore. The Genesis Project money was given providing the man was not in the house, family structure permanently broken in these economic communities. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, James. Kimberly Williams, an older lady, told me, "How can I help you when you won't help yourself?" Stuck with me. Amen. 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 Let the church say amen. Chris, I know California's rough. James Stoke, I was making $4.25 an hour in 1993. I was making $4.90 an hour in 1995 working at a bank? Really? David, that's crazy. The art of becoming more. Your sister was a little loan shark. She was a little entrepreneur. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. We just jumped like crazy. I was on it. All right. All right. Timothy Salas, pretty much automation is going to be a big, big bar. Alexander, thanks for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you helping viewers with 30 days, 2,500. Sure thing. T Tone OV, spot on about welfare. It's supposed to be a short term supplement to get yourself together. Nobody's supposed to live a whole era of their lives on welfare or food stamps. CHAM support is also used as UBI. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Exposing the emperor, give me the money. David Nino, they don't have the skills. They don't have the social skills. Oh man, the country is like I'm saying. You're paid on how easy it is to replace you, David. That's the game. The game ain't gonna change. Steve Jameson, I know, man. Dating a stripper is a whole different ball game. Software developers are getting laid off. Nothing's safe right now. Mayor and Clearview got 1.8 million views for his last stimulus view. The thirst is, I mean, people are hurt, man. People are hurting. Rod Sharon, I don't know how UBI gonna work. Apple Mac, that's why people stay stuck on welfare for generations. They pass it down to their kids. Know the game system, realizing they send their kids up to fail from life. Pretty much. Seeing hard work and effort isn't sexy. That's why the stimulus is so popular. Chris F., there's always jobs for people willing to do hard things. Thank you, Trucker Timmy. Go to hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. The free course link should have been under the video. Let me see. Let me go ahead and go to hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. The link will be under the video after I'm finished it. This new YouTube studio is just jacked up because I tried to put links under everything and it just doesn't work. It's messed up. But go to hustlerskungfulifeskills.com and do the course. Just don't get it because it's free. Actually do it. LA Cool J, I'm going back to 2 live streams a day. That should help. Breezy Roberts, I got your free course years ago. It changed my life and the lives of my family. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad you actually went through the course. Regis, a lot of people are suffering pain here. The art of becoming more. Awesome. That's a good, the lead to feel is a good thing. Oh, these stimulus videos making money, man. I know one girl, she just started and she made like $800 off her first video. And like I said, Meet Kevin is a full-time YouTuber. He ain't a real estate agent anymore. Thank you, Ben the bartender. Alpha Trucker, I mean, seriously, when that whole part came out in the CARES Act, I was like, that's going to be a problem. And here we are. Apple Mac, we're going to see what happens with Tesla. Apple Mac, yeah, a lot of people want to say it was drugs. How did the drugs? Like, I want to tell you about how I grew up. I grew up in the conservative South. As you know, most black people are very conservative. And, we went to church, and most of my friends had fathers in their home. I was one of the few kids in the neighborhood that didn't have a father in the home. There was Mr. Jones, Mr. Lee, Mr. Glover, and it was a totally different world. Black people had pride, and you having a kid out of wedlock, that wasn't a cool thing. LL Cool J, what's happening in the black community? What happened in the black community is now happening in the white community. And this is why there's so many angry white men. That's why so many angry white men are in MGTOW and Red Pill. Really, Maserati i9? What was that? Yeah, Uber survived. Apple Mac, check out the old movie called Claudine. Yes, we going way back. Q4, goddess, no, that's not true. I've made minimum wage 300 years ago when I worked harder in those jobs than I ever worked any other jobs. The less you make, the harder you work. Pretty much, Alpha Trucker. Pretty much. Yeah, Tesla stock is going crazy. Billings, I know a girl that only does OnlyFans. She made 12K in 2 months. The white men were the same. They went the same place the black men went. They went out. They were locked outside the house. They went to the same place. But we went way long today, so I'm gonna wrap this up with. I think Ben. Thank you, Ben, has put the link in the chat. Go to 30 day. Go to hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. Get your 30 days to 2,500. The original course. Do the course. Go through the course. Do the work, and you'll make some money. So with that, that's all I have for this morning. I'll see you guys later.